Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from TCG, bringing you guys another deck list profile. As requested in the comments, you guys wanted the RP Luffy deck list that I have been using. It's a great list. I might make some tweaks to it, but for now, it is what it is until 09. Deck list credits go to, I believe, Gear 5 Production. So it is his list that he used at Madison. I've been messing around with it. I actually like it a lot. I think it's worth testing if you guys really like the RP Luffy deck list. As always, if you guys have any suggestions on any kind of content other than gameplay videos, comment down below what you guys would like to see. I have a couple ideas cooking as far as like maybe wheel spin, randomizer, whatever the wheel gives you is the leader you're gonna use. But stay tuned. We'll see what we can come up with. Without further ado, let's get right into the deck list. All right, so to start the deck list off, obviously we have our leader. Starter deck 10, Monkey D. Luffy from the 3 captains starter deck. Activate main once per turn. If you have 0 Dawn, you can ramp an active, or if you have 8 or more Dawn, basically 8 and up, you can ramp an active. So it can ramp itself. It only has 3 life, and it is a 6k leader, but that 6k basically prevents a lot of swings from happening to you. So this was the replacement Newgate. So first card in the list, we are running a 4 of Nami. So obviously this is the on play Nami. Look at the top 5 cards, look for a straw hat type character other than Nami, or not character, card, so you can grab the events as well. Basically use this to find my Zorojuros if I need something for ramp, my Gear 10 Luffy, if not the rad beams, 2k counters. There's a lot of cards in the deck that the Nami can grab, so it is there. I have run into the problem where when I'm searching, I do bottom deck a lot of my top end because I am running a lot of top end that is not straw hat. So play at your own risk. Obviously you got to know when to do it, but it is what it is. On to the next card. I am running a 2 of Nico Robin. So this is an on play, KO up to one of your opponents, 1000 power or less. Great card. As you guys saw in the Charlotte pudding video, it did KO the Brulee, letting them ramp, but I was able to put pressure on. It's really only good into black because black is playing the Rebecca's, so really that's just for the Rebecca popping. A lot of the other blockers are on the higher end, so it's there. It's a 2 of. I don't think it needs to be ran more than that because again, not a lot of decks are running blockers at a 1k. Well, Beji from Bonnie, so there are situations maybe bump it up to 3, but I think 2 is a good number. On to the next one. We are running a 4 of the Usohachi from starter deck 18. So on play, if you have 8 or more Dawn, you can rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less. This pretty much targets a majority of the blockers in the game. Sabos, Queens. The only thing is pretty much Bonnie with Basil Hawkins. Those things are pretty much out of range for this card, but for the most part, you can go lethal with this card. I have lost to it in testing before, so such a great card out of the starter deck. And they just announced an SP for it, and I believe OP10, so looks sick. Next card, we are running 4 of Zorojuro. So when attacking, you ramp 1 active Dawn. This is basically one of the only ways one of the only ways you're ramping early. If you're going first, you slap this down on curve. The next turn you're swinging, getting an active, and that puts you at 6 Dawn. If you have Bon Clay, that's 7 Dawn, and you're at 9 Dawn the next turn after. So you need to hope that this sticks. Against black, very rarely does this stick on the field because this is basically, a soap sheep in a brook, and then it's off the field. But if it can stick, it's very crucial for your ramping purposes to get to the top end a lot sooner. It's kind of like Pudding wants to ramp right away to get to the big moms. You want to ramp to get to your Newgates, to your 7 drops, to get yourself from a 6k leader all the way up to like a 9k leader. So very essential that sticks. Next card in the deck list, from starter 17, is the Onami. It's a blocker. If I have 8 or more Dawn, I can play this onto the field, trash 1 card from my hand, and I draw 2. I've only played it a couple times. It's a great blocker, especially for cycling out some of the bricks that you have, because there's a lot of top end that you run in this deck. Um, I may or may not cut this and maybe up the zero cost event, just because when I have search for Onami or with the Nami, I'm not sure if the Nami can pick this up just because it has the Onami. It does say Nami in the name, so that's very dependent. But I might cut this for the zero cost event just because the Nami searcher. I don't know. I need clarification on that. If you guys know it, comment down below if the Nami can grab the Onami. If it can't, I might just cut it for the zero cost event, just so I can get more counter. But great card nonetheless. I have cycled out of bricks to, save me in the game. Next card, we got the Mr. 2 Bon Clay. So the GOAT himself, on play, rampant active Don, and then it also, when attacking, you can copy one of your opponent's attacks, and it basically replicates it. So if they have a Dofi on the field, your 1000 attack Bon Clay turns into a 10k. So you can at least get one good swing in, and then basically it's gonna be like a blocker, because they're gonna want to get rid of the Bon Clay right away. This is also one of those cards where the Nico Robin can pop if it is on the field and you're facing it. But basically, this whole purpose of this is to ramp early on with the Zorojuro or Bon Clay. If not, it's a 1k counter at best. Next card into the list, we are running a 4 of Queen. We all know what Queen does. On play, down -1, draw 2, trash 1. Great way to cycle out some of the bricks and get more counter, especially in the late game. So I'm still running at it 4 of. Such a great card. I can see why he had it at 4. Not much else to say about it, other than it's a pretty much a beat stick too. You can use it to attack if you are feeling comfortable. Next, I am running the Sanji from OP7, the blocker Sanji. If you have if you are under your opponent's Don by 3, this costs only 3 to play. Oh no, 2. If you have 2 or less Don than your opponent, then you can play this out for 3 instead of the 6. Mainly a 2k. Searching it off of Nami. 4 counter in that late game. Also, when I drop the 10 drop Luffy, this is playable because it pretty much has those 3 extra Don. Could slap him down for the low, and then I'd have a 6k blocker on the field compared to spending 5 Don on Queen. So very situational. Do you really use the ability? But it is possible. Mainly just a 2k. So getting into the top end of the deck, I am running obviously the Eustace Captain Kidd, 4 of the 7 drop, on play and when attacking, Don -1, give your leader 1000 till the start of your next turn, turns your 6k leader into a 7k leader, and then that completely throws it off because now you got your opponent's leaders at a 5k, and when they're trying to swing at you, they need to invest 2 Don just to be able to attack your leader, which, for Dofi, they're already attaching 2 Don and swinging to use the leader ability. However, with their other characters on the field, they might not be able to swing at you like they would normally another leader. So you want to get these onto the field as soon as you can and chain them with the Newgate. Because with the Newgate and this, you're basically a 9k leader and an untouchable for a little bit. So currently he's running the next card that he had and that I'm using is the Rayleigh. Great card. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's characters, give him -3000, and another one give him -2000 till the start of your next turn, and then pop a 3000. So this, you are able to control the board. Obviously pop something, and then you reduce the attack of another character by 2000 until the next turn. So now you're throwing off your opponent's turn even further. Because if you have the Rayleigh, and then let's say you have 2 kids, 8k leader, they had a 6k, Weevil, and now it's a 4k until the start of your next turn. It's not worth investing Don into swinging. So this can help clear, and then after that, it's an 8k body, applying a lot of pressure on your opponent. So great card. I was contemplating on cutting one because again, the Nami does bottom deck it a lot, but for now we're keeping it how it is. Next card, we are running 4 of Newgate. We did get the PRB version from our boy Moose, so running 1 of each version of it. But on play, give your leader plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn, and then you do not take a life. So for Newgate, this prevented you from taking a life. For Luffy, we're chaining this with the kid and then becoming a 9k leader till the next turn. So a lot of the time you want to establish this and then just chain the Newgates so that you just become untouchable and apply a lot of pressure to your opponent. It also has attached 2 Dawn to it. You can swing and then pop a 3k or less. So this can pop, the Rosinantes, it could pop the Veggies, or let's say you play the Rayleigh after you already have a Newgate established. You can reduce a 6 cost into range or a 5 cost into range and pop a 6 cost with the Rayleigh ability and then pop the 5k attacker with the Newgate. So, you can chain removal with both of these cards, the Rayleigh and the Newgate. But such a busted card. And getting into the last character in the deck, obviously we have our Gear 5 10-drop secret from OP5. This can be the deciding factor in a lot of games. On play, Dawn -10, bottom deck your entire field, and then when you pass turn, you're giving yourself another turn. So a lot of the time when you slap this guy down, you're going to Dawn -10. Then you're going to use your leader ability to ramp a Dawn from 0. Then use this Luffy's second ability, which is rest an active Dawn, gain another active. So now you're at 2 Dawn on the same turn this is played. You usually swing with the leader for 7. Pass turn to yourself. You draw your 2 Dawn, draw your card. That's 4 Dawn. Use the ability to rest an active, gain an active, and then now you're at 5 Dawn. The turn after you play this. So then you're swinging 10 and then 12 because he can attack that next turn. So this can definitely win you the game. Obviously, if you have a field full of like Newgates and kids, Rayleighs, you swing out with everything. Don't trigger kids' abilities, but then you slap the Luffy down and then just go for game. Not much else to be said about the card, but that's it for characters. Into the events, like I was saying, I am running a 2 of Gum Gum Jet Gatling. I am considering on running possibly another one and cutting Onami, or not completely sure, but I am considering running another one of these to see it more often, specifically just because I'm not too sure if Nami grabs the Onami. But 2 of, and this helps with all the bricks that I'm running, so that's 4, 8, Jesus, 4, 8, 11, 14 bricks. Yeah, that's a lot of bricks. So 14 bricks in the deck, not including the event card. So maybe bumping this up would be the better option in my opinion. Other than that, running 4 of Rad Beam, 1 Dawn gives you plus 4,000 if you are at 2 or less life. Your leader being at 3 life, you take the first life, Rad Beam's already active. So very crucial that your first hit that they're swinging at you, a lot of the time I'm just taking it just so that I can get Rad Beam to be active, because there has been games where I forget it and then I'm only countering out for 2k, which sucks. But such a great card. And then next set you're going to get the purple Rad Beam, so I'm not sure if we're still going to run this Rad Beam or not, because the other one draws you 2 cards. You do trash 1, but again, cycling out the bricks, getting plus 4,000 and drawing 2. And then the last event in the deck is Diable Jambe. Select one of your Straw Hat type characters. It has to be Straw Hat. You can't select the Newgate, the Rayleigh, or the kids. So, leader, Gear 10, makes it unblockable, and then you could go in for the kill shot. So that's the deck list. If you guys like it, comment down below. Again, credits to Gear 5 Productions. This is their list. I have been having a good time using it. And it's only going to get better in OP9. So If you guys like the content, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought of the list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.